So, good morning, everybody. It's Jillian. Yeah, I wanted to give you a quick update on the book release. Hey, sugar. Hey, sugar. So, I turned in my manuscript yesterday. I think I started the book on February 14th. And when I decided that I was going to write the book and then let Kevin write his book on his spin-off on the information. And so I started the February 14th, took all of my tiles or notes that I had on my wall, because I actually changed offices in my house. So I had to take them down anyways. And so I took all of those notes and put them in a specific order and how I wanted the book to flow. And then I wrote from those notes as well as any other discoveries I made since February 14th. Okay, which we have. We have made salt discoveries. We have made the diet discoveries. We have made an emergency recipe for electrolytes with sugar, maple syrup, and the J juice recipe discoveries. And so I'm going to be, that will all be in the book. The book is called The Evolution of the Jilly Juice Protocol. And it's called Can Humans Live Indefinitely Despite Their Environment? And so the recipe will be in there, the revised recipe along with the emergency recipe. But I'm going to be focusing on I'm going to be focusing on the microbiome and what comprises the microbiome, the biochemistry, the fatty acids, all of that. I'll be discussing salt and sugar. I'll be discussing mucus, antibodies, what would cause cancer, what people die from, and then what to expect from the protocol. I'm going to come from the standpoint that, yes, people are bringing in their pre-existing conditions, so that way no one could purposely mischaracterize the symptoms on the J juice as if J juice was the one that caused it. No. People come into the protocol with pre-existing conditions and they're going to have to deal with it. And so I also discuss and clear up the difference between diarrhea and waterfalls. And then I do go into details about the salt and how it energizes in one context. And then I talk about salts and how it impacts, certain vital organs in other contexts. And then how salt and sugar are very much needed and very demonized. And so, and then of course about to diet or not to diet. And I actually put in parentheses, DIE with a T, so people understand that when you diet, yeah, you are taking away nutrients from yourself. However, you have to know where your imbalances lay within and what they are. And I do explain in detail that when you eat a food, you need to pay attention to your mucus, so you know that maybe you might need to lay off this food for a minute and eat a more simpler diet, not so advanced, so you can compartmentalize and figure out what specific food has a specific protein or acid or mineral in it that is making you react because you already have an imbalance in that. And so that's, and I do talk about indefinite life. I do talk about the 4 seasons, reproduction. I do talk about parasites. I do go into some detail about proteins. I do go into explanations about the microbiome, what those entities are, and then how antibodies and infection and all of how antibodies get created from infection, and then where cancer comes in because it is a replication of abnormal cells that do not have a balancing force. So people understand that, yes, cancer does come from an imbalance in your microbiome, and then all of those antibodies then create abnormal cell replication. And that why it is that we don't turn to antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, antimicrobials, anti-parasites, biotics, is because we're not trying to inhibit micro level cellular, not trying to inhibit cellular regeneration at the micro level. because if you do on a constant basis inhibit cellular regeneration at the micro level by taking anti-life types of protocols, then eventually, yes, you'll trigger reproduction because the body will sense that you're trying to destroy it in some way. And then after you reproduce, or if you can't for whatever reason, then the micro level gets influenced. And so I do make a distinction that we do want to have life and death at the micro level, but stay there, because you have to have death and rebirth at the micro level to where the macro level stays intact. Okay, that's where cellular regeneration comes from, because there's always going to be instances where you have like this virus out there. Last night, my dog and I felt it. The atmosphere was very intense. She was whining a little bit. Like I could tell, I felt pressure in my head. I know she felt some pressure. Okay, when you know your animal, you know how they feel because you're so in tune with your animal. Well, I spend so much time with Sugar. And when I was writing, she was going through some adaptation types of symptoms. And she's doing fine. But it's like, you guys, you can't take this not seriously. You have to take this stuff seriously. So anyway, so I don't know where I was going with that, but I was going somewhere with that. But yeah, I mean, so I know I feel the atmosphere. The atmosphere is very intense. Right now, I just think I saw on Facebook that the UK is going under quarantine. We have New York going under quarantine. Eventually, Canada is when you're going down that same direction. My husband has to change plans in the future because traveling is going to be detrimental. He could get stuck somewhere, so he's not even going to travel for his spring break type of thing or vacation. So it's like, this is getting real, okay? And so now with this book, the book is going to be black and white because the reason why it's not going to be in color, because color is going to be so expensive. And even though, I did pay for the color, but then I got a refund for part of that to make it black and white, because if I were to stay with color, they have to use like a deluxe type of paper, and the retail cost would have been $66 with the amount of pages. And so if they were to do it a color book, it would have been 213 pages of color book. And I'm like, oh my God. And then it would have been $66. I'm not going to have any of you guys pay $66 for a freaking book. So when we did it to black and white, I don't know how many pages it was then, but then the cost to where I can get a little bit of money out of it is going to be $11.52 retail cost. Okay, $11.52. At first I wanted $9.99 because $9.99 is the opposite of $666, and it's life and death. But I can't do that because the way in which how they have their cost, because they got to get paid for making the book, and then I got to get paid a little bit for the royalties, which isn't a lot, just so you know, from $11. Okay, so $11.52, which is totally fine, because I'm not worried about making a shit ton. It's going to be in volume if there's enough people around there to freaking buy it at this point. But so anyways, so then so the book is going to be black and white. The outside's going to be black. There's going to be like a picture of a virus on the front, and on the back is going to be like, a bacteria and a virus, and then about the book and about the author. And it's going to be like in press font, like printer press font. You can Google that. It's type of font. And it's going to be very straightforward. The reason why it's going to be all white is because it's interactive. Because it means that it's going to be in your environment. It's going to pick up whatever dirt or whatever, anything that's in your environment. So that book is going to be, if the book gets dirty, that's okay. It's not really dirt. It's just your environment. So it's going to be a very, like, it's going to be a really cool book. It's going to be just very simple, straight to the point. Everything. I have 10 chapters in the book, and with a lot of subheadings. And I have it all listed out so you can go in. Now, there's no page numbers right now, but they might put page numbers in when they actually finally do it, which I think they will. So anyway, so it's going to be a very, very good book. It's going to be very easy to read, straightforward, and you can find the areas, sections It's going to be way more organized than it was the last time, okay? One of my techniques on making sure that my sentences sound good is I have a read aloud on my Microsoft 365 where you can actually hit read aloud and you click on the area where you want it to read and it'll read it for you. So I could hear it and see it at the same time, which is what I didn't do last time. And I had so much information and I had so much disorganization that it was just like a mishmash of stuff. It's like I threw together a bunch of stuff and created a book. That was the last time. This time, now it's everything that we've covered. I even mentioned about ghosts and spirits a little bit, not too much, but at least giving some kind of credibility to what ghosts are, type of thing. I do bring in geopolitics a little bit. I do bring in the bear and the bull market, peri-mutual betting. So I bring in a lot of different industries and a different connections. So you can see the connections. People can kind of get that I'm making connections and there are patterns that are recognizable and that are transferable and that you can see it in your own world. And then you can understand why people do the protocol and why they don't, why they invest, why they don't, type of thing. So I would say this is probably my best work yet. And so, yeah, so that's something to look forward to. So it's going to take them at least, March, April, May, June. Yeah, about 3 months for them to get everything from beginning to end. It has to go through the content evaluation to make sure that all my sources I have like 94 sources. Okay. So but I would tell you, it's a very, I like it. I had my friend read it. She liked it. And so, I'm just going to kind of let things chill out for a bit. And right now we're heading into a quarantine the next couple months. So you guys, I mean, all of this is very timely. All of this is very timely. And so just do the protocol. Your animals, they need to have the J juice with the sugar if they start having, types of issues, because you need the electrolytes and you can't demonize sugar because you need it. You need the salt as the balancing force, okay? And you need the micro and macronutrition, you need the probiotics. And so the last 4 or 5 years, the last 4 years have basically set us up for this freaking coronavirus. Okay, so the universe knows this stuff. Even before you know why you're doing what you're doing, the universe knows why you're here and what you're doing and what you're supposed to be doing. And then you eventually see those connections, because I definitely see them now. So I'm going to relax and take care of my dog and make sure that she can survive this damn virus that's out there. She's doing good. I mean, let me turn this around. How do I do this? Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. See, that's Sugar. Say hi, Sugar. Say hi, Sugar. She's not really that impressed. It's early. But yeah, I mean, your animals are going to be affected by this virus, and they will act in different ways. You'll know how she was very, very last night, like very restless this morning, restless last night, and like getting off and on the bed. I mean, it was just like, oh my God, my poor dog. She feels the pressure. Hey Pip, thanks. So pay attention to your animal's behavior, and if you see that something is really anomalous going on, obviously, if you don't know what's going on or how to deal with it, take it to the vet. But if you have an idea that whatever symptoms they have may resemble like any kind of seizures or anything like that, and they're still conscious, give them the Jilly juice with the sugar, with maple syrup or agave syrup or corn syrup, caro, honey, I guess too. That's what they recommended as well. But I have a glass with where I'm going to take if she ever has anything like that, with cotton balls and with the Jilly juice with the maple syrup. I just drip it down her throat if I see that the virus is going to really take a hold of her. So yeah, animals are not immune to this virus, you guys. Neither are the humans, neither are the aliens. I mean, who else can I say? Neither are your plants. I don't know. But we're heading into some really aggressive times, and you're already seeing it. It's a 3-week type of pattern. Okay, you know, the nations are following behind each other. Okay, so you guys up there in Canada, get prepared. You guys here in America, you're already seeing what's going on. You guys in different countries, understand this is not going to be easy to get through. Get the J juice, the white salt, the cabbage, the kale, and make it, and, you know, drink it, especially if you feel like tightness in your chest. You got to get that mucus out. You got to. Okay? So other than that, and if there is no doctors, what are you going to do? So you're going to have to do something to save yourself and save your family. And there's nothing wrong with fermented cabbage juice along with maple syrup in it if you need to. Okay? So, all right. I'm going to do my thing. You guys do your thing. I'm going to relax after 15 days of writing a book and stressing about it. But I think I did very well. And yesterday it took me 6 hours to go through from beginning to end everything that was written. I had somebody help me in the beginning, help me just kind of get my sentence structures and give me some tips and clues on really how to go through it. And she's also acknowledged in my book, so you'll see who she is. I'm not going to say her name now. I'll wait till later. But she is in the group, and she helped me edit a little bit. But after she helped me edit it, then I went in and really saw how she edited it, and then I started learning from what she was saying and took it from there. So there's a lot of new stuff that's in there that she hadn't seen yet. So yeah, I'm really excited. So you guys take care. I will talk at you later. Stay strong. Okay, bye.